because I did karate for years. Yeah, I did karate for years, man. Yeah, like, aren't there still some people missing? Yeah, I know Lily is running late. What about Kat? Hi, damn. Well, I hear that the booster shot, like the really strong effects don't kick in until the following day.
Yeah. When I took mine was like, um, it didn't hit me at all, to be honest.
Man, must be nice. It hit my mom pretty
I
bad.
I got lucky. Anyways, hello and
Hello.
welcome. Hello there. Welcome to episode 2 of Delta Zeta. Y'all ready for this?
Yeah,
Alright,
let's get it on.
let's go. So, as always, my lovely chaotic crew. Completely improv. Your choices have consequences. Every choice matters. Like the whole um, Man and Medan spiel. But basically, with that being said, let's recap what's going on. So last time on the premiere of season 2, we find ourselves about 4 months in advance after the events of Lauren. We find ourselves in a prison within the sector of Proto Alpha. We met Camille, and we are reunited with Will and Joseph. Jordan, rather. Joseph's not there right now. And Jordan, they help her escape, and they go to a different sector to stop robbery, who the robber was none other than Carmen. Battle ensued, and basically being scared shitless into defeat. Um, she reluctantly joined Jordan and Will, basically because of Will. Um, and we now have a crew of, as of right now, Jordan, Will, Carmen, and Camille. We then cut to Lauren, who has a discussion with her mother, Elaine, and she basically vows to end her mother, at all costs. Um, after, and then that kind of ends with her mother possessing her, and basically being like, you know what, try again later. We then cut again to Adrian, where we find ourselves at the headquarters for all of the mob bosses. And he actually eliminates the head kingpin of all the mob bosses, basically bashing his face and saying, well, who's the monster now? Um, After kind of realizing what he did, he suddenly gets like a piercing headache and his vision goes red with a line of dialogue appearing, basically telling him to go back to the school. Um, After that, we do cut back to the original 4 that we started with. And we do meet 2 more individuals within the Johnson family emporium, Rainer and Kentaro, who both are inquiring about joining the league after some confusion on where the duo ended up getting a permit to enter the shop when it was closed. Basically, with Jordan just sitting there, just crossing his arms, like just being like, "Give me it," um, with little to no nothing. Um, After that, Jordan basically invited everyone downstairs, saying, "Look, I'll catch up with you guys in a couple of minutes. I got some stuff to do up here." Um, to look around, see what's new for everyone to get settled in, and then Jordan basically tells them what happened. Like 9 months ago was the explosion that took place, and just going forward after that, um, if they want to stay, they can stay, but to have them just like sleep on it. And then at the end of the episode, we discover that there's a lab in an undisclosed location, um, revealing 3 test tubes with human body sized um, capsules. Um, and that's basically where we left off. And that's where we pick back up, rather. Words, they're confusing. Anyways, so we cut to the morning. Um, Everyone just kind of like wakes up normally. Jordan specifically, he nothing really new happens. Um, He gets up, he gets ready, normal day. Um, Basically just kind of talking about how, just checking the morning documents because he still has to run the Johnson Family Emporium. Um, with all that, since Joseph's gone, um, he kind of thinks about for a moment, just kind of going back to Joseph and how everything that just happened. Um, he ends up going down to the base and he just kind of starts hitting the sandbag, which was like the first time in a while that he's done it. Um, so, and as he's kind of like punching the bag, he actually has a flashback to when he was younger, about 10, and he's practicing his own way of like how he would like do his moves, but he's also practicing alongside Pirate Knight, which her real name is Juanita. And seeing how she does her moves differently, he kind of remembers that her way of movement, and he kind of changes his style halfway through some of them, and he actually ends up doing some of her techniques. But while he's doing that, let me roll here for a minute. Let me do my first roll of the day. 18. Okay, so Will's just kind of like walking around. He first got up too. He's walking, and he hears something coming from one of the rooms. Carmen.
What?
Will basically is walking past your door. You don't know he's there. He kind of like puts his ear to. I'm gonna roll again just to see what happens. Same number, Jesus. Okay, he puts his ear to the door. He doesn't open it because he's about to wake you up, saying, it's time for breakfast. But he hears you talking. And he hears. Did you get the stuff?
I got it, but
But
there was a slight mishap.
explain.
Okay, so I got in. I thought I was okay. Do you remember that guy that I told you about a while back?
If memory serves correctly, the annoying shop owner's grandson.
Yeah. He showed up.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So what happened?
I got into a fight with them, and I had a panic attack.
Fucking hell, Carmen.
Who's sick for me?
Your sister would have done
I'm
better.
not her. I'm not her.
Well, this puts a giant hole in our plan. Especially since they need all that supplies soon. So what are you gonna do? Since you're, I'm assuming, trapped?
Not really trapped. I'm going to. I think I have to stay for a little while.
So what are you planning?
I want to try to save her.
Carmen, I've told you before that she's lost.
I know, but there could be a chance.
Your mother took a chance, and look where that got her. Suddenly, Carmen, you hear a knock.
I have to go.
If you know what's right, then do it.
I will.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So you hear the knock again. You hear the bup 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 on the door again.
I'll open the door.
All right. So you open the door and
Not
you.
saying anything.
All right. So you see Will standing there. And he goes, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt anything that was going on. I heard you on the phone, so I'd rather just, respectfully knock. Breakfast is ready.
How long were you standing there?
Like 2 seconds.
How much of that did you just hear?
All I heard was I gotta go. After I knocked.
Can I see if he's lying?
Yeah, if you want to roll.
Okay. 18.
18. Let me roll. You barely failed.
Oh.
So you kind of see him look away, but you don't really think of anything about it. You just think it's his demeanor.
I'll be down later.
All right.
Shut the door.
Okay. So Will kind of walks away, and he actually goes to. He just kind of goes around. He knocks on everyone's door, saying, "Yeah, breakfast is ready." Blah 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 blah. Knocks on everyone's door. Blah 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 blah. He not. Rainer and Kentaro. He gets to your door, and he just knocks again. What do you guys do?
Time to roll out of bed.
Time to. Wait, you guys just like there?
I'll get up and answer the door with, messy bedhead. Yeah. Cool, yeah, just give me a few minutes. Let me make sure Rainer's up too.
All right. He kind of looks over. I'm gonna make a perception check. He thinks you're dead.
Me?
No, he
Or
thinks
Rainer?
Rainer's dead. He kind of looks over and goes, he points at Rainer, who's just
Out cold, man.
out cold, just sprawled out. Looks like he got shot and just laid there.
Oh my god.
Finally got a good night's rest.
Yeah,
And-
just give us a few minutes. I'll make sure he gets up.
Okay. All right. And he just kind of like walks away. Shut door. Body slams Rainer.
Rainer, wake up. Yeah.
Do you wanna? Okay. Roll for an attack roll then if you want to actually body slam Rainer.
Wait. I don't want to hurt you.
I
I'll
mean,
jump
the
on
1,
the
2,
bed.
3.
Can I just jump on the bed?
you want to just jump on the bed?
Like,
Yeah.
Body slam the bed.
I mean that's yeah. So still make a roll. I just want to see what you get. I'm not gonna
Okay.
make you kill him.
Kills
He
Rainer when
dies.
he jumps in bed. You said a strength roll?
Just roll. Yeah, just roll.
I rolled a 15, but I got +4 strength, so a 19.
You
I'm gonna fly off like a cat.
you
You know those videos?
So-
of the, like,
yeah. So the way
Fail.
the way that the beds are laid out is some of them are bunk beds. Luckily for you guys, they are not bunk beds.
Cool.
So you basically get on your bed. You manage to kind of cat spring stealthily like on the wall. Like you're stuck to the wall, and you just Jesus, I almost knocked over my dice case.
Spider-Man.
And you just lunge at the bed and just full on like elbow the bed. Rainer, I want you to make an acrobatics saving throw.
Oh no.
Don't die.
Here, wait.
Wait.
Do the natural
Oh my God.
20.
Get, please.
Bring up the digital roll.
digital roll.
I rolled an 11.
11? Unfortunately,
Acrobatics?
Yes. It was
Oh my
like
God.
2.
plus 2, or is that with the plus 2?
No, that was with.
Oh, so unfortunately you did not pass that.
Great.
You basically go flying in the air, your arms are flailing around, and you just land flat on your face.
Oh, so sorry.
You look like
Rainer, it's time to wake up.
you look like Ralsei in chapter 2 of Deltarune. I just sent it to
Oh
the
my
chat
God.
right now.
Good.
That's
Love
what
it.
that's what they look like.
That's hilarious.
They're just flat on their face. They plop.
I've been murdered.
I've been murdered.
You
Murder.
went from looking dead on the bed to looking dead on the floor.
Now
It's-
I'm just on the floor.
It's fine. All right.
You're dead no matter what.
You're just
What an
dead.
interaction.
Wow. Okay, so Carmen, going back to you. You're awake. You're out. You're prepared. You're ready for the day. You're heading to the mess hall. I'll say this is about a half hour later, because of everything that just happened. I gave you time to think, process everything, what to do. You see Jordan in the sparring room. He's still there. He's been punching the bag nonstop. If you want to do a perception check or an insight check, you can from there. But if you wanted to get like a true one, you'd have to get closer. Or you just want to straight up ignore him.
I'm not getting closer. I'll do a. What's better? They're the fucking same. Okay, so I'll just roll.
Yeah, just
and
roll.
See what.
See what happens.
22.
So you see, like his face looks like dead on, like he's in a Zen trance. He's not. His hands aren't glowing. He's literally like he's punching a bag. But if you see the bag itself, it looks like he's been beating on it for like a couple of like weeks. It looks old. It looks worn. And his knuckles, they're bloody. So he's been doing that nonstop for some time.
I'm gonna just ignore him.
You're just gonna ignore him?
Yep, I'm not gonna do anything.
Alright. So,
Shrug and like whatever.
okay. So with that, you guys eat breakfast. You feel satisfied, feel healthy. And then, while you guys are in the mess hall, one of the like all the TVs, they are playing different things. They all kind of like go to static. And all of a sudden you just see in big flashing lights, pew, 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 breaking news. And I'm not talking about one if your bones exist or not. Another murder has been taking place here in New Neo City. This time, tragedy struck in the sector of Phi Gamma. Marshall over there states that the victim was found, as well as all the other ones in the past, mutilated, found hanging upside down by one leg, very similar to that very strange Hanging Man tarot card, with their face contorted in anguish. Oh, so terrifying. This killer has now struck down a total of 36 individuals in the past 3 days. Please advise traveling alone and to go in groups of 3 or more. This has been Hank Newsman, signing off. What do you guys think of that? That's going towards Carmen, Rainer, and Kentaro. Oh, and Camille. Because Camille is there,
Everybody's there.
basically.
Are you forgetting about me?
I said Camille.
That Lawrence not there.
So I said almost everyone. Adrian and Lauren are the only 2 that aren't there.
Jeez.
You'll get your time later. God.
Stop being salty.
And I had to hurry up with this.
I know. How dare you? Anyways, you 4 that I mentioned before. What do you guys think?
I feel like Camille is still sitting there, just like shoving food into her mouth, and she's just watching, kind of looking at everybody else,
Just like,
wondering what they're thinking.
just like.
She stays quiet for the most part.
So wait, are you actually sitting
Carmen
alone?
has earbuds in.
Oh, you not even.
She's not listening to anybody.
Completely didn't hear the news.
Carmen.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. I'm
Carmen doesn't want to be here, but she reluctantly stayed.
fine. All right.
What you asking me if I was sitting
alone
alone?
but didn't want to be there, and the parents are just like, "Why'd you come anyway?"
Basically.
Were you asking me if I was sitting alone?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you're actually sitting alone.
Yeah, dude. I
Well,
don't know anybody here.
fair enough.
You're out of prison, man.
Yeah, no, you're not in
I
prison.
know. She's just hungry.
She's just eating like a horse.
I need some milk.
I need some milk. So basically, so none of you guys, so you do hear, well, except for Carmen, because Carmen doesn't have her freaking earbuds in. I'll sass you about that. So basically, for Rainer and Kentaro and Camille, this means nothing to you guys, because you don't know who these people are. But you're basically hearing muttering, and then you hear the name Lauren being muttered.
That's the missing girl.
They're saying, oh, I wonder if it's that Lauren girl. And it's like, well, she's been on that rampage before. And it's like, yeah, 4 months ago, though. But, like, we haven't heard hair of her since. Well, I still don't trust her. She separated this. She put everything thin. But I still have faith in her. Well, I don't know. And you just kind of, I want all three of you, because Carmen is just in her own world. Make a perception check. All three of you. The one that's not Carmen.
22.
My digital dice is rolling very slow.
22,
I love
17.
that you had to see the one that's not Carmen, Matt. Like,
Well,
which doesn't
I
make-
knew I wasn't gonna make it.
Great, I got a 6.
all right, Kentaro, you hear that and you're like, oh, well,
Don't worry, I got a 7.
be like
I'm like taking notes.
like an oh no. Anyways,
Oh my god.
Um,
Rainer just like, anyways, our cereal.
is cereal a soup? So for Rainer and Camille, you kind of happen to glance over slightly to Will. Because, well, obviously, both of you recognize him the most out of everybody there. On top of, obviously, Jordan, but Jordan's not there right now. You notice Will kind of looks sad and hurt hearing this. Like, hearing everyone kind of, like, mutter her name poorly. And he kind of just, like, leaves. What do you guys do?
Can I follow him?
You want to follow him? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Rainer, you managed to catch up to him. He's kind of like fiddling with something in his hand. It kind of just looks like a ball, like a marble. It's a big marble.
Okay. You okay? What you got?
Oh, it's something my friend of mine gave me.
Lauren?
You kind of
Give it to you?
you see him kind of like clench his hand a little bit, and he kind of like looks away. And he goes, "Do you think she's bad?"
Not really. I don't know much about her.
He looks reluctant to talk, but he kind of like puts the object in his pocket. That I wish you guys saw. I freaking dropped the bottom of it, and my other hand just reacted, flipping it up, and it landed on my plate.
I heard the clink.
Yeah, my ninja skills are coming in real life.
Good job.
Thank you. So he kind of like puts it in his pocket and goes, "She wasn't bad. No, she's not bad. I know she's not. It's just stress and everything getting to her." And he kind of like traces the wall a little bit, and he goes, "Family issues."
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make you a bad person. You get stressed.
That's what I think, and that's why I'm helping Jordan so much, because he kind of realized that he's been pushing away his students originally, trying to solve this with his grandfather, but I mean, he kind of like pauses and he goes, "I just wish Carmen would see that and understand that."
What can't she understand?
She thinks that he's the problem, and he's not. You know, you weren't there when we saw her, but he was basically apologizing and begging for him to come back, for her to come back. But she said no to him. But I told her that I trusted him, and she said yes to me. But she still doesn't trust him. I get trust is a hard thing to get back, but I mean, he was sincere about it. That's the thing that's bothering me. He kind of like looks away and he goes, I just hope she stays this time.
Well, she's your friend, right? And I'm sure you can convince her.
I hope so.
Don't worry, it'll be okay.
He kind of like looks at you, and it's like the first time since meeting him that his eyes look hopeful. Like,
Aww.
like full. And he goes, thanks. I really needed to hear that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We're here now. We're gonna help you.
He smiles. And he goes, come on, let's go back inside. I think Jordan's got an announcement starting soon.
Alright. He just follows back inside.
Cool. So, you guys finish eating breakfast. And then finally, in the mess hall, still, after everything being cleaned up and put away, Jordan ends up coming out, and he goes, so, he kind of looks around. He sees, I'm assuming, Camille, Rainer, Kentaro, and Carmen, you're all staying, like, in the base for a while?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. Carmen?
Mhm.
Alright. BK? BK is no...
I'm
Yes.
so sorry. What was the
Are you... Is Camille staying in the base for a while?
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Alright, so Jordan finally comes out. He looks around, and he goes, I'm glad I didn't scare any of you guys off. And he figured there was going to be, like, no laughter or anything like that, so there was no laughter. He goes, anyways. He tries. He's trying to, like, be a Joseph. He's not a Joseph. He goes, anyways. Failure. Anyways, so I've came to you guys because we have 3 different missions. And it depends on what you guys want to do. It's totally up to you. I'll just break you guys up into groups depending. So we have 3 missions. I'm sure all of you guys have heard about that serial killer in Saigama that struck. I got an alert this morning on the computer, and I think that's worth investigating. Because none of the other pro heroes seem to want to take it over, so I say it's our chance to step up. That's one option. I'm definitely going to go look into that personally. So whoever else wants to join, that's fine by me. But we have 2 other missions besides that. Looking for MILF and looking for Lauren. Carmen, do you perk up at any of those?
Mostly Lauren. Like, I mean, both of them, but it's like she wants to find Lauren mostly.
Okay. So, here's our options.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. So, for the serial killer route, I'm going to go there. Whoever else wants to come with me, that's fine by me. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to look around Saigama, see who we can find who this freaking person is. The second mission is to look for our other one of my other... He's trying to figure out a way to phrase this. He goes, we're looking for somebody named MILF. They're basically the reason why we're so sparse right now. But besides that, they're an important person to my teammates, so they're worth finding for sure. Based off of some intelligence and some looking around for quite a while, for the past 4 months, I've narrowed my search down to one place. And he hesitates to say it because he's very apprehensive. And he goes, it's called Zone 0. A lot of people are kind of like looking around and muttering to each other. If any of you guys want to roll for something, for insight, to figure out what the hell Zone Zero is. Go ahead.
I will.
All right, so everyone who wants to, go ahead.
I'll roll.
Hold on, I'm doing everything on my phone. Insight. Okay, I found it. Camille got 17.
17. All right.
I got a 14.
14.
17.
17.
I got a 9.
9. Oh. All right, that is.
Numbers tonight.
Regardless of the two low rolls, that's a group success. So, Zone Zero is kind of a very tricky place in Neo. It's basically like a hive mind for where a lot of action happens, like a lot of conflict. A lot of heroes have actually died there trying to fight there, because that's where a lot of like radiation is. Who rolled higher than an 18? Did anyone? No? Okay, never mind. So, basically, you kind of know that Zone Zero is like a very dangerous place. And lastly, be looking for Lauren. That's one of our top priorities. It's one of the easiest and safest routes. However, it's also, I feel, a very far-fetched idea. Basically, I need a lot of you guys, or a couple of you guys, to go undercover back to the school. Some of you guys may know what it is, some of you guys may not. But connected to our Emporium is a pathway down to one of the colleges. That's where a lot of people that I know kind of came from. I want that team to look there and see if Lauren shows up. It's far-fetched because she may want to stay in hiding somewhere else that's not so obvious. And for each of these options, we would be separated for about a week. So, with that in mind, what do you guys want to do?
What a great question.
So, you guys can pick one route. And you guys can discuss it as a group if you like. If not, it's totally up to you what you guys want to do. If you guys want to ask me any further questions, that's fine as well.
You're talking about the college, right?
Yes.
Okay, Carmen will go there.
Carmen wants to go to the college.
Who wanna be on my team?
Yeah.
Who, BK?
Who wanna be on my team?
Who want to be on
Where
your
are you
team?
going?
I don't know. Wherever you go.
Somewhere. A location.
Camille.
Did you talk about a location for this serial killer?
Yeah, so that's going to be in Psi Gamma.
Oh yeah, Gamma. Sorry.
You know what? I'll go get Milf. Camille will go get Milf.
Camille's going to go get MILF?
She can hold her own out there.
Okay, I'm going to write this down because there's
Yeah,
different things
I was writing
happening.
it down.
Too much thinking. Brain empty. No thoughts. Just monkey.
Head empty, no thoughts.
Head empty. So Carmen.
To the group.
Alright, so Carmen
For
is school.
Lauren, I know some of you are going undercover. Are they going undercover so Lauren doesn't recognize them?
No, so
Or
basically they're
not
just
allowed
gonna
there?
no. So basically it's they're literally just gonna like go and attend school there. Like colleges, like classes. Jordan's gonna set that up. For you guys, so it's easy.
Carmen was already a student there.
Yeah, so Carmen's also already a student there, so she's probably gonna take like whatever classes she may have had. But basically he's gonna set something Jordan's gonna set something up for you guys, so it's like, alright, you don't have to like actually do work.
Basically,
Okay.
21 Jump Street, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so
Yes.
Because I was thinking if it was better to have people that Lauren recognizes if she is hiding there, or if it's better to have people that she doesn't recognize.
true.
That's what I was thinking.
True.
I
Yeah,
think me
'cause-
and the only two that she would recognize, so.
That is also true. But it's also been 4 months, so you may also look a little
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Yeah, based on wherever we want to go with that logic, I don't mind going anywhere else on these missions.
Alrighty.
What logic we playing at?
I feel like that Rainer and Kentaro are gonna go together.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Probably.
Where
Uh,
we dropping?
Where we drop it. Okay, so who's going for Lauren so far? Carmen and
So
Just me.
Carmen is going so far for Lauren. Camille so far is only going for MILF, and Jordan so far is going for that serial killer.
So
Wait,
me,
where's Will going?
Rainer, and who else needs to make a decision? Is it just Kentaro and Rainer? still, or
Kentaro and Rainer. Will's actually gonna go with Carmen
Will?
because he's never been to the school.
Okay. So then it's just
I forget how
Kentaro
young
and
that
Rainer.
boy is.
He's a sad man.
Is Gamma dangerous as well?
Psi Gamma?
what is Gamma?
Psi
Yeah.
Gamma is basically roll insight.
Oh.
Not gonna lie,
I just-
every time I think Gamma, I always think of Gammas from Goofy movie 2.
Oh my god. I'm just slowly roll.
Whenever you guys say Gamma.
Gamma.
I'll get real dice eventually. You
Eventually.
said insight?
Yes.
16.
16. Basically it's like a Bronx.
A what?
Like New York.
Bronx.
Like the Bronx.
Oh, Bronx. Oh, thank you. Okay. Because if we stick together as a pair, Rainer, should we assist Camille in the very dangerous area?
I'm straight chilling, bro. You ain't even gotta go.
I don't want you to die.
Go where you wanna go.
I don't mind either way.
Do you want to
That was very DJ Khaled of you.
Yeah. So do you want me to flip a
You
coin?
wanna go?
You do you, man. Go where you
So,
wanna go.
do you want me to flip a coin for you, Savannah?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Rainer. Where do you want to go? You can either go with Jordan to basically Bronx to look for a serial killer or find MILF. In Zone 0 with a lot of conflict and death and radiation and danger.
And if it
I don't want
if it
Camille
adds
to
any
die.
if it adds any help, she is like a experienced person.
Geiger
So
meter.
I try to not spoil it without. She is
Yeah.
extremely experienced if it helps with your decisions. I don't know how
Rainer is not well adept in combat. He's
Yeah, I know.
mind stuff, so fighting is like.
Is Rainer and Kentaro going to split up? Question mark.
I know. I thought about
Wow.
it. I was like, because I kind of want to go to the dangerous place. But then I don't know if Rainer's ability would be a good asset to help find like the serial killer.
So as you guys are discussing this, you kind of hear like steps coming towards you guys, and you just hear, Jesus Christ, let me just pick for you guys. And you see walking towards everyone, like the crowd kind of parts. You see this
Okay, Moses. Splitting the
figure. You see like a devilish tail kind of like flicking back and forth. His hands are in his pocket, and his jeans are not jeans. His shorts are very torn up. His arms and his legs, now that you're getting a better look at it, they look discolored, and the figure kind of like looks up with like glowing yellowish eyes, and kind of like spits on the ground, like, oh, like fucking hell, man. This is Luca. Some of you guys may recognize him from season 1, season 2. He's a lot new to you guys. He's just walking up to you guys. He goes, "If it means anything, I'm gonna go with frickin' Jordan because I trust his intellect."
Well, love you too, Luca. Thanks for you next.
And he kind of like looks at Jordan, like he gives him a "I have to tell you something later" look.
Oh, damn it! I opened my mouth.
Besides that, he goes, "Rest of it's up to you guys." And Jordan kind of gives him a look like, "Who the fuck put you in charge?" Like a ugh.
Who did put him in charge?
He goes, "Anyways, what do you guys want to do?"
Cool. Rainer, you want to come with me to the dangerous place?
Yeah? Rainer and Kentaro with Camille?
Sounds like a.
If you want to go to Dangerland, Rainer, you can go with whoever you want to go with.
It's gonna be a trip, isn't it?
Oh, man.
up to you, buddy. I'll be okay either way.
Would I be helpful?
I don't. I don't want to say I don't know. That sounds mean. Could come in handy, but then if there's combat, I am worried because I don't know what's there. It's just if there's. When you say very dangerous, it's like is there people there?
Well, you don't know. No one knows what's
yeah,
gonna
exactly.
happen.
No one knows.
So
Hee.
should.
Do you want to ask Jordan to see how dangerous is dangerous?
Yeah.
All right, so roll insight again.
Oh.
Both with advantage. With advantage. So roll if you are you on the character sheet?
Yeah.
Right click it and then click advantage. Makes life easier.
Do you want me to roll again?
Who
Camille?
Camille? No, you don't have to.
Insight?
Yes.
Without advantage,
No.
I had a 22.
That's perfect. So
So, you know,
Jordan
experience, whatever.
Jordan kind of like looks at you and he kind of like drums his thumb on his pen because he is taking notes down as well. He goes, I mean, there's Dave, so
Who's Dave?
Who's Dave?
he kind of like he starts to tell you. He kind of like pauses and he goes, actually, I'm not too sure. From what
How do you know his name?
from what Gigi told me, he's
Gigi.
Gigi is what he calls his grandfather.
Oh, okay.
From what Gigi told me, he apparently he's a monster, but I don't know too much about it. No one really talks about it, so
Great. So that's the only description you can give me.
that's all
Monster.
that's all he knows.
All right.
So Jordan's like, I don't know, man. What do you want me to tell you? He's just a monster. That's all Gramps told me.
Okay.
Honestly, I
Thanks.
think- honestly, I could handle it. Like, you don't stress.
No, I don't trust it. Sorry. Rainer, I'm gonna put both of my hands on your shoulders. I'm just gonna like, you're so small.
Small
Say
bean.
that. Maybe you should go with Jordan or with Carmen. I think your power would be more useful on one of those missions.
This feels like an emotional moment where you guys would just start
Yeah.
kissing.
Splitting. No, he is my son.
Oh!
Not literally. Not literally.
Plot
but basically,
thickens.
I care about him.
This got awkward real fast.
Fair enough.
He's my child. Don't
He
make
is
it like
my
this.
he is my side child.
Yeah.
I found him on the
Okay,
dirt
buddy.
road, and he is now
Patch.
mine.
He's Rosa I've only had him for a day, but I'll kill him if it
Yeah.
was
All right, so Rainer, you've been kicked out of Team MILF.
He could still come if he wants to, but I'm just saying.
I don't know. Do you want to live or do you want to die?
That's the question right now, isn't it?
I'll
Higher
go
chance of living or dying.
I'll look for Lauren because I might be able to
Alrighty.
look at
Smart,
people. Like I
Nice.
can try and read their minds and be like, I'm interested in this person.
Alright. Kentaro and Camille are gonna go die together.
So
Go eat
so
it,
far,
gamma radiation.
there's no actual gamma radiation. It's just radiation. That's all that it is. It's just
Full
full
Hulk.
Hulk.
Yeah.
Hulk? Hulk?
No more powers.
No,
it's
no,
fine.
no, 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 no. Okay, so the team is Carmen, Will, and Rainer for the school to find Lauren. Camille and Kentaro is gonna go try to find MILF in Zone Zero, and Jordan and Luke are gonna go look for to figure out the serial killer inside Gamma. Sound correct?
Yeah. Yes. That's what I have typed down.
Awesome. So everyone else is kind of like hesitant to say anything. Jordan basically reassures them that they don't have to go, and all of them are like, okay, that's fine.
We don't have to go?
We
Well-
just don't go on any missions.
I mean, it's a mission. A mission's a mission. You
Yeah.
do get like credibility points essentially. So basically it's like, oh, this person actually can do a mission. This might be an actual good hero, and you rank up basically. So
Okay.
final thing, that's everything. With that being said, Jordan basically ushers saying, you guys can get ready for the missions right now. But basically, the entire day and night now is yours. What do you want to do for the day?
Do we have any like mission reports or anything like that that we can like
Any
read over?
any mission report?
Yeah.
Like, with what Jordan just gave you?
With what? Yeah. With what?
Yeah. So he does hand out after the meeting. He does hand you guys your mission reports. For for the team MILF.
What a team name.
I know.
Thank
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course. So basically, you guys had to investigate Zone Zero because there's actually been sightings of a building, like a warehouse, and it kind of matches the description of what a photo that Adrian saw before he went all robot psycho killer, basically, with a chainsaw on a hook. If you get the reference, 10 bonus points for you. Then it basically the picture, and Jordan ends up attaching that to the file as well, so it's not a good photo. It's basically MILF, who you see as like a very dark-skinned woman who looks very tall, very boobalish.
Oh my god.
No, that's the way she described it. Listen,
Okay.
that's the way she described it. Very big boob. She's very beaten, bloodied. She's not in good shape. She's tied to an I-beam. And she's in what looks like a warehouse, and there's no wall. There's no walls. That's stupid. No doors or windows.
Okay.
You guys don't feel comfortable seeing MILF beaten, though, like that. Carmen kind of glances over and kind of gets bad vibes and memories, so she kind of like looks away. Like, you just kind of glance over, Carmen, if anything. So basically, Team MILF would have to go and investigate, see if that is actually a thing, that warehouse. And if it is a thing, see if you can't sneak in and save her. For Team Lauren, essentially, all you'd have to do is just go through, like, what would it be a normal week of school. Investigate the entire college to see if there's any, if she's even there. See, like, any of the old rooms. Carmen, it's very easy for you, since you've known Lauren the most out of everyone in the entire facility, actually, at the moment. So that'd be easy for you to, like, look around to see if she's actually there. So basically, you just had to go through, like, a normal week of school. You'd actually... Carmen, you would be able to stay in your old room, because that's still there. Jordan and Joseph kind of made sure to, like, preserve all of your rooms, just in case you would happen to be like, no, we're done, and just kind of go back to regular school life. For Will and Rainer, you would stay in... You would stay in 2 different rooms. Some of them may be familiar to some of the groups, some it may not. And that's all I'm going to say on that. And since none of you guys actually chose the Psi Gamma route, I'm not going to tell you guys until we actually go. So like I said, the day is yours as of right now. The day and the night. So what do you guys want to do from here on out?
I personally want to talk with Camille a bit more since we're going to be on the same mission and I don't really know them.
Okay. So, Camille, you are approached by Kentaro very timidly.
Wow.
I want to say, well, would you? She looks pale and ready to rip your throat out. That's just her. That's just her.
I was about to pull up her character sheet. So
That's just her resting bitch face.
That's just the
Damn.
aura, man.
She has RBS.
Where is she? Where's her
She's-
character sheet?
She should be there.
I'm blind.
Oh no, the blindness continues.
I see.
Oh, she's also in.
Like,
Yeah, she's.
Oh,
Oh, that's
found
just the
it.
costume. Oh yeah, no. I'm talking in the die house, the dungeon room chat.
Yeah. No, I didn't see the character sheet. I just sent what she would look like. Apparently, I wasn't listening correctly. My
You're
bad.
fine. You're fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
What are you all doing in the chat? What the hell is happening?
We're talking.
I see that.
Casually.
I'm not in the campaign, Matt. I have to talk with
Yeah.
Not.
Find something to do, bro.
I know.
Sorry.
Chaos ensues. Lord. Anyways, I am glad that is being recorded as well.
Oh my god.
Clip that. Clip that.
Sometimes.
Clip that. Clip it.
And that is officially going to be a soundbite for the rest of eternity.
Ooh. Anyways.
My favorite thing. I
Anyways.
introduced myself to Camille.
Yes, you introduce. So Camille, this figure walks up to you and realizes that your menacing aura is just like there. Kentaro, make a wisdom saving throw before.
Oh, jeez.
So Camille just looks at you.
Alright, hold on. Very slow roll time.
You want to roll an intimidation, Camille?
I just want to know what's going on.
All right, so you just look over. It's just your aura.
I'm not. God, my rolls are so bad tonight. You said wisdom?
Yeah,
6.
just her aura, just her sitting there, makes you tinkle a little.
Stop. Why do you do this? Why do you do this to my man?
Listen,
So out of character right now.
listen. You jump onto bed to wake up Rainer. Now you tinkle a little.
Great.
Karma. Anyways, go ahead, you two. Rainer,
I'm not gonna initiate the conversation. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
you're right. After tinkling a little bit, being like, "Oh shit."
Hello. I'm Kentaro. Nice to meet you. I stick out my hand. I don't know if she's gonna take it, but I stick it out anyways. See, we're gonna be on the same mission together. She just kind of nod. Is that what you said? He kind of nods. Camille.
And Camille.
She really does. Camille. So she doesn't take my hand. No. All right. I'm gonna put my hand back down. You want to talk about like our abilities at all, so we can know what we're dealing with each other. So if any danger comes up, we can think of a plan.
She finally looks up at you at this point.
Thanks.
And she just kind of nods her head again. Kind of weary. Is that the right word?
Like you're tired.
Yeah. Like tired.
Kind of like
worn out.
Yeah. Like very worn out. There's still. It's only been a day, so there's still bruises, and she's still very sunken in. So she just looks tired. Still kind of scary looking though. And she just kind of nods her head.
I'm trying to think of words.
What?
Because I'm like, oh, she looks really tired. Maybe she goes to sleep or.
Oh no, there's urine in my pants.
Alright, so I can start. Anyway. And then I know you can adjust the power as need be, because I know we talked about Kintaro's power before.
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
But I'll just say my spiel of it. So my quirk or power. Are we calling them quirks here? Or
Powers.
Powers.
Okay.
My power is basically, I can take other people's powers and switch them between other people. So yeah, I can have the power for myself, or I can give someone the power that I took from someone else. Little switcheroo. But yeah.
Oh.
So unless I take the power, I basically just have to rely on like my pure strength. And to be able to take the power, I have to get physical contact. So
Okay.
I'm very close combat, not long range. So yeah, that's my spiel of my powers. So if you want to go,
raise the dead. I'm gonna speak out of character right now, but I don't know how to describe the rest of it. To be honest with you, I'm gonna Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. I mean,
From Marvel.
yeah. So it's some like not really. I wouldn't say mind control, but she can move stuff with her powers. Yes. So that's kind of so it's necromancy and telekinesis basically.
Okay, cool. That'll be useful. Great. Especially that we're going to a place with a lot of death, you know? Great.
I've
Alright.
heard that before.
Yeah. It's a good plan ahead. Alright, I'm just gonna sit next to Camille now, and we can go to other characters. I'm just gonna sit by her.
So you're just gonna sit and just talk randomly? Like amongst each other?
There's some chatter going on.
Okay, that's
I'm gonna try to
fine.
make small conversations, but we can cut to other characters.
That is perfect. I feel like we're gonna cut back and be like, and that's why Rainbow Princess is the coolest of them all. And then Camille's just gonna be, like,
Rainbow Dash was like the sporty one.
anyways,
She will sit there and listen to this, but she doesn't know any of it.
be like, okay, so Rainer, what are you doing in all of this?
Reading the room.
You're reading the rooms.
Yeah. Seeing what's going on.
Seeing what's happening.
Quiet.
Okay, so you want to roll insight then.
Yes. Hang on. I'll come back. I got 14.
So just by kind of like scanning the room, you see like people are talking amongst each other like about separate missions. You kind of hear Kentaro blabbing to Camille about something, but you don't know exactly what it is. Camille just kind of like looks like she's half paying attention, but she also looks very tired. As you continue to, damn it, I dropped my dice again. This is gotta be a weekly thing, I swear to God. Hang on, I want to see what it rolled. What did it actually roll? Bad floor. It was a bad floor. So as you continue to scan the room, you kind of see like people talking about separate missions. You do hear kind of talk of, robberies, heists, kidnappings, the usual. As you keep scanning, you see Will kind of like talking with Jordan, but you don't really make out what they're talking about. And then you can kind of see like Carmen just by herself, kind of like, I want to say, I don't know, this is totally me speaking for you, Taylor, but I feel like she'd be just kind of like sitting there, just kind of like flicking open and closing her lighter.
Absolutely. That's exactly what she'd be doing.
Fantastic. I know your character too well. That's basically the room.
I want to go up to her.
You want to go up to Carmen? All right, so you walk up to Carmen. Carmen, you see this very timid lad walking up to you. A very tiny lad.
I just look up and notice them walking up to me.
You notice the presence.
So, what do you know about Lauren?
The name makes her flinch a little bit.
Rainer, you kind of notice that that's the almost identical reaction to how Will reacted.
Everyone feels terrible.
Well, no, you kind of notice it's a very touchy subject.
She was a friend. Kind of my best friend.
Well, we can get her back. That's what we're gonna do, right?
You weren't there. I want to believe that there's a way, but you weren't there.
No, I wasn't. But that doesn't mean we can try. We can't try. We can always try.
She just shrugs, like, not sure what to say.
Well, maybe if you tell me more about her, I can seek her out. I can read minds, and I don't have to be that close to them to be able to read their mind, and I can see what they're thinking. Maybe that'll help us get a clue into what she wants to do.
That could be useful. I haven't really thought about her in a while, though. Been a few months since I've seen her.
Maybe she wants to come home.
Part of me wants to believe that.
We can convince her.
That's why I want to do this. Why I chose to stay. Why I'm choosing to stay.
I think that'll be a big help for Will. I know he wants you to stay.
Where is Will right now?
Will
Still talking with Jordan?
Will right now is actually walking towards you guys right now.
I just look up at him and just nod and then fall silent again.
All right, so Will kind of like walks over and goes, "Looks like you two are getting along pretty nicely."
Sorta.
He kind of like looks between you two and goes, "So, do you guys have like a plan?"
Well,
I know the school, so that should be easy.
Oh, that helps.
and I can read minds, so maybe I can figure out where she is, if she's there.
He kind of like looks at you and he almost thinks he kind of like smirks. He goes, "What am I thinking of right now?
He reads his mind.
You want to use your mind reading?
Yes.
Tacos."
You're thinking of tacos.
He does this like a surprise Pikachu face, like how'd you know?
Carmen rolls her eyes.
He's like legitimately surprised.
Yeah, so that'll be helpful, right? If I find her, I might be able to stop her. For a little bit.
This might work. This might work. He's getting like all excited.
Rainer feels helpful.
And like Carmen, for the first time since being back and seeing Will, you see his eyes actually bright again. Like hopeful, like how they were before you left.
Just like the smallest smile just forms.
A smile.
Not to where anyone would notice.
Enough. It's enough. But she feels good. Okay. Is that so? Do you guys start talking strategy? Then, okay. So we'll just kind of like cut with that. So I'll say about for a couple of hours between Camille and Kentaro and the three of you guys, Carmen, Will, and Rainer. It's about 3 hours pass. So it's about like 2 in the afternoon, roughly. You guys are free to leave the base. I do want to say that. So if you guys want to explore Delta Zeta, if you guys have never been around Delta Zeta, you can do that. But the afternoon now is still yours. What do you guys want to do?
Explore.
You want to explore?
Exploring.
Oh no.
Exploring.
Exploring.
Cooking with a killer robot. Okay, so, Rainer, Will, and Carmen. Excuse me. So, Carmen, I feel like you would know the city or the sector a little bit more. Slightly. Just based off of hanging out with everyone in the past. Do you want to lead anyone to anywhere specifically, or do you just want the three of you just like wander around, see if there's anything even like you wouldn't notice?
I guess just wander for a bit until we go to the school.
Okay, so with that in mind, you guys do wander around for a little bit. You do notice, Carmen, for your knowledge, you do walk past Arya's diner, which was the place where you guys, like, you kind of have a flashback I'm not gonna make you roll for it because it's annoying. Plus, I feel like it's contradictory. You do have a flashback of when it was you, Lauren, Adrian, MILF. I think I said Lauren already. It was originally Lauren, Adrian, you, MILF, and Fred. You originally were talking with Arya about Shocker, and that's when it kind of like led to everything going on right now. You feel a tear roll down your eye. And
I
it,
wipe it away very quickly.
very nice. I'll just say just because it was so quick, none of you guys actually noticed it. Besides that, there was the boba shop that MILF actually went to. You're not really a huge... Like, do you guys actually stock up at any of these places, or do you just, like, wander around? Or is it assumed that as you guys walk past these places, you go in?
What do you guys want to do? I mean,
It's totally up to you guys. If you guys want to be like, oh, I want to go in there, and then you guys can go in there. It's just to eat up time at this point.
I mean, if it's interesting, go in. But if it's like a
yeah,
building, then
yeah.
Yeah, basically Arya's is just a straight up
I
diner.
agree with that, yeah.
So I can say like you guys go to eat at Arya's because for Carmen it means something. Plus the food there's actually not that bad. You guys don't really stop at the boba shop. You kind of like notice it and acknowledge its presence. You pass the farmer's market. You pass a very shady alley. And you actually end up coming up to the park. Carmen, this resonates with you a lot because this is where everything started. This is where you met Jordan originally. And where Adrian and Fred both destroyed some thugs' nutsacks.
Oh, the glory days.
The glory days. So, what do? You recognize this place. Like, it's like coming back to a childhood house, if that means anything to you personally.
Where's the fountain?
The fountain?
Yeah.
The fountain's in the middle of the park.
I'm gonna go walk over to it, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know what else to do.
Alright, so you walk over to the park, or to the fountain of the park. It's still a very small park. It looks like they're planning on widening it from the last time you actually ever went over there. You notice that the graffiti for the symbol of the Sandillions that you remember is gone. Any proof of any thugs whatsoever is gone. So the park from almost a year ago is safe. You're processing a lot of this.
Yeah, I am. I honestly don't know what to do. I guess I'll walk back.
You want to head back to the Emporium?
No, I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Or, well, Rainer, what does he want to do?
he's just following. Like,
He's just-
seeing your
Will-
reflection, everything.
Will. He's
Yeah, what's
staring.
Will doing?
Will's staring at the fountain, and it looks like he's seen a ghost. Which is,
Do I notice that?
yeah, no, it's pretty obvious. He looks horrified.
What's the matter, ghost boy?
He's not answering. He looks like he's about to have a panic attack.
I
His
quickly
vibes.
move. I quickly move him away from the.
So you move him away as Rainer.
I
You're
know that look. Like,
as
Carmen knows that
your-
look too well.
as you're reading his mind, Rainer. You see flash images of a young Will. Young Will looking basically identical to how he does right now. and two figures by this fountain, this very fountain. And you just see splashes of both water and blood. And then you hear like conflict and screaming. And he just looked in shock and horror on Will's face.
He just kind of keeps that to himself. He doesn't really do anything.
I'm
Alright.
moving him as far away as possible.
Alright, he at this point is kind of starting to hyperventilate.
Will, you need to calm down, okay?
Huh?
I know what this is. Believe me, I've had it. Calm down.
Huh? You notice he kind of like snaps out of it. Like he kind of, huh? Yeah. Hi. I
Okay?
he kind of like glances back at the fountain and he glances back at you. He goes, I want to go home.
Where's home? You want to go back to the Emporium or?
No. He looks like he's trying to remember where he is, surrounding wise. Like he's trying to remember a path. And he just starts walking like away from you towards like this complex that looks abandoned.
I follow him.
Rainer, what do you do?
Also following him.
Alright. So you guys kind of like walk for a little bit, and eventually he gets to like this apartment building that it's the oldest out of all of them. It looks abandoned. Like it legitimately looks like an apartment version of a haunted house, like a stereotypical haunted house. He's looking at it. He's looking around, and he goes, "What happened here?" And he actually goes inside. Like he phases through the gate, which is locked.
I pick the lock.
You could also melt the lock, but okay.
I don't want to. She doesn't like using her powers, okay?
Fair enough. Okay, so you pick the lock, no problem. It opens. It almost breaks. The lock almost breaks as you like pick it up. Like it's been there for a long time. So you like basically kind of like jiggle your lockpick twice, and it just opens, and like rust just poofs out of the lock. As you open the gate, and you're watching him, he faces through the front door. The front door is also locked, and it looks. And you try to open it, it's boarded on the other side.
Come on, Will. What's going on?
And then you just hear like rummaging. So, I mean, you guys are both outside. The entire building looks like it's boarded up. Rainer, you could use your powers here to track Will, if you needed to.
Yeah, probably would do that.
Okay, so
he won't get like hurt or wander off a building.
all right, so basically you grab onto like Carmen's shoulder, and you find Will immediately, like using your psychic powers, and you're watching from Will's eyes at this point, Professor X style. So he looks like he is looking for something at the moment. He's wandering around. He's like he looks like he's frantic looking for something. He eventually finds a key. He runs upstairs. And he manages to kind of like stop in front of this one room that looks like a master bedroom. And he kind of like weirdly he kind of creeps away, like he's sneaking back into a house, like after a late night, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then he kind of like tiptoes faster back to like the end of a hallway. The hallway is padlocked. He clunks the key, the lock falls, he opens it, and it looks like a little boy's bedroom. And he just looks shocked and like nothing seems right. And you hear him go, No, this can't be right. Hold on. And he's like rummaging around. And I need you, Rainer, to make an insight check.
Can I try to kick the door in?
If you
I'm
want.
not very strong, but I want to try.
Yeah, go ahead. So do a strength check. Then,
Shit. Nope.
what did you get?
I got a 6, but my strength is +1, so it's 7.
You,
so no.
it does buckle. It buckles a little bit, but it doesn't budge.
I got a 19.
19, so, Rainer, you happen to notice a very dusty family photo with two figures, a mom and a dad figure. Looks like their faces were scratched out. And two children. One of them looks like Will, and there's another baby. Like an infant.
There's only a picture of an infant?
No,
Like,
that's the
you
family.
know,
The family photo. It's a
But
family
there's-
photo. So like a family photo.
Of that child. There's only it's a picture.
Yeah, it's only the family photo has the mom and a dad whose faces are scratched
Yeah.
out. Will, like on one side, and then the motherly figure, you can tell because boobs, is holding the infant.
Okay. Does Will have a younger sibling? He's asking that to Carmen.
Carmen left for a minute.
Oh, well.
But I'll say this, from what everyone knows, no one really knows.
I'm back. I'm
You're
sorry.
back. Okay, so Rainer just asked you if you know if Will has a younger sibling.
Honestly, I don't know. The first time I met him, it was not the best of circumstances. We didn't really talk all that much.
So, Rainer, as you keep tracking him, he actually does glance back over to the family photo, and he wipes away the dust, just to kind of like look at it. He's looking at it for a minute, and you do get a better view of the two children specifically. One of them is in fact a younger version of Will, based off of 5. And I want you to make a history check for memory.
What check?
History. It's basically if you remember something.
My dice will stop being weird.
How dare your dice?
If I got a 7.
7? Okay, so you feel like it looks familiar, but you just don't know. It's on the tip of your tongue. The infant, on the other, it looks like a child. But you can notice it's a very faded photo. You know how faded photos are from like old, back when they used to print them out. You can tell that the child is swaddled in a pink blanket.
So it's a girl,
It's a girl.
I'm assuming.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's a girl.
Okay. Is there any way to get to
Will? I mean, you can try breaking down the door again.
Yeah, that's true.
Carmen.
Stronger than me?
Oh, because
Nope.
Rainer's so strong.
Rainer will not go through
I
that
will
door.
try. I will try again.
You want to try again? All right. So this time, I want to say
17.
7. Oh yes, no. That kick.
Thank you.
That kick alone just sends the door flying, crashing inside. The dust flies everywhere, like decades worth of dust. And then it's just eerie inside. I don't know if you guys have ever played Phasmophobia, but you know when you walk into that house and then that ambiance kicks in?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Well, this
Spooky
is
and dead.
It's very spooky in there, and it reeks.
Great.
It doesn't reek of death. It just smells like mildew.
Musty.
It's very musty. You do have, if you guys want to look around the house before going up straight to Will, or are you going right up to Will?
Let's look around.
Okay. Yeah, Will's having a moment. So you guys look around. So the lower floor is broken up into 3 sections. There is the living room to your left, and to your right is like the kitchen area. That's where Will was rummaging around earlier for the key. Do you guys split up to look, or are you guys together?
I'm going up to Will.
Oh, you're going straight up to Will, Carmen? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll
Sorry,
have.
Rainer.
I'll look around. Sorry.
All right. So I'll go with. So Carmen, I'll just have you go up the stairs for now. Rainer,
That's
you.
fine.
So Rainer, what are you gonna do first? Are you gonna look in the family room or the kitchen area?
Family room for more pictures.
Okay. So you do go in the family room. There is a little bit of a hallway connecting it. You do notice more portraits hanging up on the walls. Anything that resembles parents are scratched out.
Okay. Who's taking note of it? Any more baby pictures? Baby, the girl.
Of the girl. There's a lot of them. As you're walking down the hallway, you do see a couple of them. You do see a bunch of classic infant photos that you see. Some of them dressed up. Some of them like a couple of months old. One of them is of her wearing a dress and a little bow, confirming she is a girl. And then going into the living room itself, it is probably the worst of the musty area. And you do notice, like, this is gonna be so gross, decade-old food plates just sitting on the table. Decayed away, like just flies still buzzing around it. It's not a good sight. And the TV is on, but only to static.
I don't like that image at all.
It almost looks like they just left in a hurry. Or whoever left in a hurry.
He's just making a mental note of everything that he sees. And also covering his nose because it smells bad.
Yes, it does not smell good. You do happen to notice it does loop back around towards the kitchen on the other side of the room. You can look around the room a little bit more if you'd like. If not, you can loop around to the kitchen if you'd like.
Go to the kitchen.
Okay, so you do loop around to the kitchen, going through the other doorway. You pass a door. It's another hallway stretch, but you do pass a door. It's padlocked and deadbolted. And
I'm trying to get in there.
You need a code. It's not a key.
Look in the kitchen.
Gamer mode activated. You want to look in the same drawer? Okay.
Open the drawers. In
Okay.
The same drawer the key was in.
All right, so you do open the same drawer that the key was in from your photogenic memory. You notice nothing out of the ordinary except for like a small notepad.
Notepad.
You open a notepad, it is nonsense. You see a bunch of different like a lot of it's faded away because it looks like the ink kind of smudged the pages, but you pick up like random words. You would have mistaken it for a shopping list at first. Like there's words like foxtrot, just potassium. There's sauerkraut, potpourri, and then there's one word that sticks out to you, and it's basement.
Are we in an apartment or are we in a house?
Apartment. It is the way that the complex is built, that they do have basement accesses, but it does pick up basement.
Well, I'm gonna pocket this thing, and then, I guess go up to Will and Carmen.
All right,
and
Carmen.
tell maybe Carmen.
Yeah, so basically, Carmen, at this point, you run up the stairs and you go right into the bedroom with Will. Will's just staring at this photo. Like, he's sitting on the bed staring at the photo. He looks very sad.
Will, you with me?
He kind of like
And I
looks.
kind of wave my hand in front of his face.
He looks up at you, very sad, and he kind of like looks back and goes, "Sorry, I freaked out at the pond, or
What?
fountain. Sorry."
What happened? I've never seen you like that.
I don't like talking about it.
There's a lot of shit I don't like talking about either, so I won't press you. Can you tell me what this place is?
He kind of like looks around and goes, "It was home. This is where I used to live. Once upon a time."
How long ago?
He kind of like looks off. He's thinking. You could see him think. 13 years. I haven't.
What happened here?
He kind of shrugs and he goes, "I haven't been here in 13 years. I don't know."
Who's this in the photo?
He looks and he goes, "My parents and my baby sister."
Is it the same one that is scratched out? Or is this a better copy?
It's the same one that in when you were looking through the vision with Rainer, it's the same family portrait he picked up.
Oh, I saw that too?
Yeah, you saw that too before running in
Okay.
and kicking down the door. It's the same exact photo. But yeah, it's his parents and his baby sister, he says.
You want to talk about it?
You kind of see his like bottom lip quiver a little bit, and he sighs and he kind of puts it down, and he's kind of like rubbing his hands together. He's very nervous about talking about this. He goes, 13 years ago today, he's you see like a tear kind of rolling down his face. He goes, "My parents murdered my baby sister. Right by that fountain. They didn't want a girl. They wanted a better..."
Good God.
That went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick.
Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck.
Not for me.
Yeah, you
Oh,
could.
that escalated quickly.
You guys can connect it to Rainer. If you're near the door, you can connect 2 and 2 real quick.
Great.
Yeah. He looks mortified and he's like zoning out and like hollow again. He goes, "They did some stuff I don't want to talk about at all. They you know when babies have soft spots? Yeah. He shakes his head and you see more tears are streaming down his face at this point. I hate that fucking fountain so much." And Carmen, you're taken aback a little bit because that's the first time you've ever heard Will swear.
I'm a little proud, but also very sad still. I give him a hug.
He's crying. He's full on sobbing at this point.
You know, I know what it's like to lose a sister.
He kind of like looks at you and goes, "Really?"
Mm-hmm. I had an older sister. About 6 years older than me. It's the reason why I left home.
I'm guessing it wasn't the same reason as me.
Not entirely, but she is no longer with us. That's
Oh.
why I carry the lighter.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't your fault, and the only people I blame are heroes, so that's fine.
He pauses and he goes, "So what did happen, if you don't mind me asking, to make you hate heroes?"
I'm trying to remember how long. I think it was. I'm trying to remember my backstory. Hang on, it's been a while.
Haha, lore.
It it was my high school graduation. Uh, we were on our way to my graduation party, and there was a bad accident that caused the building to collapse. She didn't make it, and she died right in front of me. And it was the hero's fault.
Oh. I see.
I don't remember who it was. I mean, I was hurt pretty bad too, but somehow I survived.
Well, he kind of like looks at you. He still has some tears in his eyes, still streaming. He goes, even though my sister, I don't even know her name. Even though she's not around, I consider you guys my family, so you're technically like a sister to me. That's why I don't want you to leave again.
I'll try not to, but I'm not making any promises.
Well, it's better than nothing, I guess. There is something I do need here, though. And he gets up, and he's talking while he's getting up and moving. He goes, there was one thing that my parents always told us not to do. Well, me specifically, I should say. And that was never to go in the basement. And he's running down the stairs now. Obviously, Rainer, you hear him say this, and he's rushing towards the basement.
I got an old card.
He goes, oh, okay. So he's rushing towards the basement. You guys, I'm guessing, following?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He uncharacteristically, he grabs, and you guys totally missed this. He grabs a hammer from, like just this random side table, because they actually had to like board up the windows from the inside, like obviously because of the door. And he swings down on the locks, and they just explode because they've been there for like decades. Like I said, 13 years. And the door just creaks open, and you just get hit with this smell of chemicals. And Will starts going down the stairs.
Guess we'll follow.
Okay.
I don't trust this, but I'll follow too.
So you guys are going down the stairs, and Will's still talking. He goes, I remember my dad always coming up and down these stairs. He was always like, William, don't you dare ever go down this basement whatsoever, young man, or else you're going to be in big trouble. I never understood why, so... And as he gets to the bottom of the steps, he goes, oh, maybe that's why. And as the two of you get to the bottom of the stairs, you look where he's looking, and there's science equipment everywhere. Just as dusty as the upstairs. There's test tubes, flasks, open containers of some stuff, some weird slime on the ground. It looks like a lot of it doesn't look like it's been used recently, but for some reason, because the bookshelf holding up the books looks like it's been moved in towards the wall. And Carmen, you kind of have an inkling of what that might be because of the school.
Don't think we should go down there.
Down where?
The bookcase. Is it open or?
Will just runs over and he looks and he kind of puts his hand, not like intangible way, but he kind of puts his hand like behind it and he goes, "What the hell?" And he starts pushing it, and it just slowly like grindily like slides, and it opens up to a secret passageway. And he happens to see on the side of the bookcase, and he just goes pale, paler. He goes, "We need to get out of here, like right now."
That's what I was telling you.
And
I don't think we should.
no,
do
he
it.
turns. He happens to like look to his right though, and sees like this folder. He snags it. He grabs the both of you, and he turns you guys invisible. And he goes, "Don't make a sound." And he kind of like fakes. You know how people kind of fake going upstairs?
Yeah.
He kind of.
Stop.
Yeah, stomp. And then he's holding you guys. He's kind of holding your mouths just in case. But all three of you guys are intangible. Suddenly, you see from behind the staircase, like this cloaked figure kind of like peeking out from the corner and looking around. And he looks and he sees like the stack, the middle folder that Will snagged. It's gone. He looks over and he goes, "God damn it!" And he's like searching around. He's trying to like not touch anything. And then he picks up a radio, like a walkie-talkie, and goes, "Those fucking kids grabbed the documents." And you can see like a wire to like an earpiece, so you can't hear like from the other end. So he's just like, yeah, okay. Point B, you sure? I don't think we're ready for that. Alright, if that's what you think, then that's what we'll do. He puts it away. He walks over towards the bookcase again, starts closing it, but then he lights a match and throws it towards one of the open canisters, and it just goes, and the entire basement starts to engulf in flames. And he closes the bookcase door. And then Will kind of turns you intangible and goes, "Come on, let's go." So he kind of still has you, so you don't really have a chance at saying yes or no for this. So you guys book it up the stairs. The flames are following you very quickly. Dry old wood burns very well. So you guys manage to escape, and then as you guys leave, the entire building, like in 2 minutes later, is just completely engulfed in flames. And Will's just staring at it.
How far away is the guy?
He's gone.
Because Raider was gonna try to read his mind.
Oh no, he's gone.
Rats.
What, were you like too panicked about like when Will basically ran up to you and muffled your mouth, being like, "Don't make a sound," that you didn't use your powers?
I mean, he could have.
Yeah, basically Will was just like, "Don't make a sound." So, yeah, basically Will, he's gone. The guy's gone. Do you guys do anything, or do you just go back? Because Will's right now standing facing the fire, and he's holding two things. He's holding the photo that he had, the picture frame, as well as the manila envelope. It's like stuffed with documents.
Picked up this thing. Raider hands him the notebook.
He looks, and he kind of like, he puts all of his other stuff like underneath his arm. He starts flipping through it, and he sees like all the stuff that was like either bled through or crossed out. It looks like a mixture of both. On different pages. He's actually flipping past what you read, and it's still the same thing. He goes, "Wait a minute. I think if I remember correctly, he flips through to the very last page, and it's the one that you were actually looking at, Rainer. He goes, "I think I might be able to solve something like this, but we need to get back to the base." All right, so you guys head back.
Yeah.
Alrighty. While all that was happening, um, Savannah and BK, what were you doing from the time of 2 p.m. onwards to like 6:30?
Jesus.
Training?
Yeah, what were you two doing
No.
after 2 o'clock?
Training?
Training?
Yeah,
Maybe
we
we
can do
were,
that.
maybe we were working together to try and figure out some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys were just training for like the 4.5 hours?
Yeah.
Perfect.
That
Makes my
actually
life
makes sense
easier.
to me.
All right, so we'll just speed up that process, and as you guys are like exiting the training room, um, feeling good about yourselves, you see just Will, Rainer, and Carmen just bursting like through the door, but like Will kind of like more frantically. Um, the smell of smoke kind of like hits you guys.
Jeez. Where the hell have you guys been?
Will's too frantic to talk, so he's like looking around for something specific.
I look at
I
Raider.
have no idea what the hell just happened.
We went to a building and lots of trauma happened, and I found a notebook. We saw a man in a basement, and he told us. Well, he didn't tell us. He told someone that we have to move the thing to point B, and then he set the building on fire.
Jordan at this point's just walking up to you guys with like a big mug of coffee. He's like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?"
Camila's looking at them like they're crazy.
Big old mug of top of the morning coffee.
Oh, top of the morning.
Oh my
Only
God.
thing that
Not
except Jordan drinks
sponsored.
coffee.
Listen, I'm not monetized anyways, and besides, beans. Anyways, so Will finally goes, "Aha," and pulls out a pencil.
Great.
He looks at Jordan. He goes, "Seriously, why don't you have more of these like up top here?" I thought. Anyways, he flips to the next page, which is blank. He goes, "I remember when I was a kid that there used to be like these crime shows." He starts shading very lightly the page. He goes, "A lot of times crime people would use this technique to see what people would have written in the past because it would leave an imprint." And finally,
Suppressing.
yeah, exactly. So finally,
I kind of look at him and pull it down. I was like, Will, what the fuck was that? What happened?
look, I don't
What
even.
was that down there?
I don't know. Like I said, I was never allowed in the basement. I'm just as surprised as you are, Carmen.
What the hell?
Never allowed in the basement. It's I don't know. It's new. It's weird.
Exactly.
Never mind.
He's
I just revealed my entire life story that made people sad.
yeah. He look. His life is trauma. He doesn't talk about it for a reason.
What was in that room?
Either man. My God.
That room that was bolted. Oh, I'm dumb. Never mind.
You're okay.
It's okay.
No, that's just some community college or dorm college. I don't know. I thought this was the academy.
just said. He hands it back to Will and he goes, This is something totally not expected. I'm gonna make a few calls, and Jordan just leaves to see because he's curious now about this. So at this point, are you guys gonna talk about this, or you want to like be like, all right, well that happened?
Does anybody know?
No one knows. No one knows what it is. The only person who might know is actually not there. He's in a hospital bed. That would be Joseph. And as of right now, he is in a medically induced coma. So the oldest person there, well, you're all about the same age. No one knows. So that's why Jordan's gonna make a couple of calls. So he's gonna see if he can't phone or try to figure out how to phone to like the main branch of like the Heroes Academy, like the Hero organization, or the Hero Corp rather, to see if they can find anything about something called the Academy. So until then, you are basically at a dead end. So at this point, you can either like talk amongst yourselves and figure out like what theories you may have, or I can just skip ahead to like evening time. You can do whatever you want.
Does anybody have any ideas of what it could be?
Will shrugs. He has no freaking clue.
I don't want to say it, but I kind of agree with Jordan.
What do you mean?
It could be some evil syndicates or whatever. What was your dad doing?
He kind of like shakes his head and he goes, I have no idea. All he kept.
Is this his handwriting?
Yeah, that is his handwriting. But he kept talking about work. And I remember he's sitting there. He's fiddling with the ball again in his pocket. Like the ball that Lauren made for him. He goes, I remember that Mom and Dad had an argument once about work life and us. And it got heated, and all I remember is my dad shouting at my mom being like, they can't find out about this. But I don't know if they meant the heroes or us. I'm just curious on who the Academy is. I do agree. I feel like it might be an evil syndicate, Carmen, but I don't know. I
There wasn't anything on that flash drive. I'm asking you. There wasn't anything on that flash drive we found that said Academy, was there?
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
Nards, I was about to ask that myself, even though I'm not.
I was like, I really didn't
And
remember.
Will kind of has like a moment of like an oh shit moment. He totally he forgot about the folder. He goes, "Oh wait," and he's like,
things.
No, he's like, I kind of I forgot I snagged this. He kind of puts his family photo off to the side. He's like, I just grabbed this, and he opens it up, and they're just plans, like documents, in blueprints. One of them looks like the X5-1 Carmen. You recognize that immediately.
Oh shit. Okay. 23. Okay. I recognize this slightly. That and also the name. Is it called the Delta Zeta? The name and the signature. This looks very familiar to me. Look at it closer. I am good at that. That doesn't count. Okay.
Not that one.
No, no, it fell out of my little tray that I have. It was like that doesn't count. Uh, 19 plus 9. So yeah, I have plus 9 for
28.
investigation. 28. Thank you for
You're
math.
welcome. I was like, I was like,
Carmen is smart. She just doesn't like showing it.
Look at my bomb.
It's a bomb. Do I recognize? Oh wait, I didn't see the bomb, did I? When I shit. Okay. Oh shit. She mutters out under her breath. Uh, we didn't tell anyone this, and I kind of regret it now. But
Wanted to, but no one wanted. No one listened.
okay, we didn't trust them. Okay, shut up. The voice is in my head. Shut up. Lauren, it was right after the explosion. I think I don't remember. Lauren found this flash drive, and it said it had that signature, and it said Delta Zeta and start base 2, and I don't like this. It's short circuited. I don't know, do I? Okay. I explain that. I tell him that. Yeah. It's a possibility. I honestly couldn't tell you. It was a mushroom cloud. Did Okay, back to the first one. Did we hear anything or no? Was it just a big mushroom cloud? Okay. It could be, but honestly I couldn't tell you. Is there
I have
anything
a
else on that or
question.
no? Yeah. Okay.
Uncharacteristically, what? Never mind. I'm gonna
You
shut
had
up.
a question, BK? What's up?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask because Camille was in prison. Does she know about the whole? Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering, like, okay. Okay, I was just double checking.
I love the silence.
I mean, I'm
God.
like, whatever.
I I have no idea. Yes, she died 4 years ago. What does it say? No. No, that's not my father. I'm going to have to ask him. Yeah.
Good job. You're welcome.
I was gonna say good job, but you're gonna beat me to it. That's
Hmm. All right.
insane. We feel you, Will. I feel you.
I'm going to figure out what the name Frank means. If it means anything at all.
Great question. Did we not eat dinner? Cool. Well, after a long day of training, I feel like Kentaro will be very tired, so he's probably be heading to bed.
Um, is there any way for me to look up what the academy could be?
Google.
What is Carmen doing? Oh, you're trying to go find who Frank is.
I
I'm
was
not
just
looking
gonna,
for
yeah,
Frank.
yeah. I was just, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Did you find anything out yet? I just say I relayed everything to him because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to remember every little thing. Hmm. That's where I was trying to ask you earlier. I can't remember. Like I don't know if she knows anything.
I love just up the prison like it's
So this
advantage.
has
You know, it's just prison.
this has nothing to do with the backstory, like the Okay, I well that's what I was saying. I didn't want to be like, yeah, I know what this is about without. Uh, okay. I'm dying right now. This man is just letting a convicted villain get on his computer. Oh my god.
For
I didn't do anything
years.
bad, but I just thought that was so funny that he was like, yeah, you can do this.
Jordan wouldn't even trust four of his older men, his older students, but a complete criminal. He trusts. That's cap, my dude. Yeah. Oh God, no. Cap.
Uh, shit, what can I do?
No.
No. Okay. I know. I don't even know if I should start with myself or um would anything even come up if I typed in my name? Okay. I think that's what I'm gonna do. She's gonna yeah. I want to look at the newspaper article first. Is that it? Okay. I want to. Yes, I want to look at the photo. I'm gonna print it out. Yes. Okay. It made me sad. That did just make me sad.
So, I pat you through through.
Okay. So I doubt anything will come up if I look up Academy. T. I'm clicking on it. Is there any way? This is probably a very stupid question, but is there any way that I could figure out what the acronym is, like at all? Okay, I would like to try. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I'd be asleep.
Dreams. Yay.
Carmen probably wouldn't have fallen asleep yet. You're good. You're good. Yeah.
Do better.
Yep. Question. No, I'm still here. I told you I'm staying for a while. What was the name, Frank? Does the name Frank mean anything to you, or the Project Delta Zeta? Anything? I found it on a file. Do you know something about this? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, my brother walked in. Okay, I will do that, but can you tell me what it means? Really? You're the only one that I'm trusting right now. You know this. What happened to Eliza happen again? What happened to Eliza to happen again? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, just what she's saying to her dad. Then what? Please. Just give me some answers. Just a couple. I don't need all of them right now, but just a few to know why I'm going to burn this. I'll do it, but I just want to know why. Who is Frank? You used an alias? Yeah. I read art. Do you know something about that? Okay. Like I said, you're the only one that I trust right now. right, old man. I trust you. I'll try to update you. No. No, I want to go find the file. Oh, I have everything? Is there anything, like, worthy of information in there that I know of? Or is it just all scribbles and sciencey notes that I don't understand? Right? I'm gonna let my hand heat up a little bit and burn it. I'll do that with the whole file since that's what he told me to do. Oh, he just asked for that? Okay. Then, yeah, that's it. And then I'll go to bed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
D20 or D10?
D10. D20?
Oh.
Okay, you said D10 before. You said 5 of them? Okay. They are slowly rolling. It's always so slow.
I got my dice.
So you want the complete total, right? I got 56. I passed sleeping.
41.
I passed sleeping. Whatever the rolls were.
I got a 52.
Oh
Have
my
to
god. Thanks. Glad I didn't have any nightmares. Oh, didn't get there.
Yeah. Hmm. Perception. natural 20.
I don't miss those natural 20s, man.
Mm, I will slowly advance. Like, is it in shadow or is there light that I can gleam?
Freak is this episode?
I am going to slowly, but very very quietly, without arousing any suspicion or making him think that I'm there, follow and see if I can possibly glean what is inside the bag. Okay. With disadvantage, stealth. Dirty 20. I'm just like walking close, but also pretending that I'm like lost in the music that I'm actually listening to, and just looking around and gawking as if I've never been here. Like Santa's sack, kind of big of a bag. Insight. Um. 18. Oh snap. Um. I'm going to follow him wherever it goes, or wherever they go. With still disadvantage. Ah, I just rolled a 20. uh, Another stealth check. You said disadvantage 22.
Dude, better. You had such a long time. You suck. I'm kidding, you don't. You just had a bad. Pretty.
22. God damn it. Okay. Oh, I don't think so. I'm casting Water Sphere. I don't. You don't roll for Water Sphere though. Hmm. Okay. Luckily, my weapon is all the water in the atmosphere. Uh, I will cast another one. Okay, I'll go around it. Yeah, I can go on. I can jump through the wall. I can jump on the walls. I can. I'm pretty dexterous. Yeah. Can I glean where they are? I will cast Wall of Water around them. So now neither of us can escape. Seem pre- What's all the hurry? And not every day someone goes through a park carrying a body bag with them. Mind telling me what's going on here? I'm normally very patient, but honestly, not talking is not going to get you anywhere.
Then you're not patient.
Oh boy.
Should have looked away.
You know me. You know that I don't look away. Especially when it's coming from you. So this is what you've been reduced to.
I cast black roses.
Hey, real quick before we start, one of my friends is watching the stream and he says that he can only hear Matt. Or he can only hear one person.
Last stream, watching it back, all of us were really quiet besides Matt. So maybe they just need to like really blast their volume.
I don't know because he was watching it a minute ago and said he could hear all of it, or he didn't say anything about it then, but he just started watching again and he said he couldn't hear it. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like messed up or anything. What, me?
Yeah, he's just.
Okay, that's his own fault. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. Okay.
We're not talking anymore. So yes. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry, man.
I will quite literally, I will look at her, like expressionless, and I say, have it your way, and I click a button behind my ear.
Dude, Burger
that's attached to my ear, and from that button, it's kind of almost Star-Lord style. My helmet and my suit appear.
So she snort.
This whole episode it went from 0 to 100 real quick, is what this episode is.
Basically, she laughs cynically and she's like, "Ha, nice trick."
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, my dice are on fire tonight. Okay. Initiative.
Eighteen.
23. Yeah. Uh, out the gate. Since there's walled water around, I am going to cast Watery Sphere. So that is a strength save on the part of Lauren.
18.
18?
Yep.
Okay, so that is a success. So let's see. So the sphere is still there, but you are able to strength your way out of it because there's just a ton of water that is trying to encase you right now. I since I can take another action, gotta love fighter. I will cast lightning bolt at 4th level. So that is a dex save on your part.
12.
So that is a fail. And I'm going to use a point to empower it. So, 3. This is how many d6? 9d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And because I empowered it, I can re-roll any number of the dice that I want. Ooh, they are super high. So, math. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 31, 37, 42, 48 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
Then I'm going to draw my sword and let's see, what else can I do? Mm-hmm. You mean difficult terrain or dangerous terrain?
Black thorns. 50 feet of the chosen point, the field is considered difficult terrain.
Okay, so then I move with half speed.
Yeah. So you have to make a DC throw of 14.
To move normally?
Yep. No, a
Okay.
you have to make a constitution saving throw. Oh yeah, that's it. At the start of your turn, the creature takes 2d4 necrotic damage on a failed saving throw. Half on the successful one. Every
Okay.
creature died in the field will increase the damage by 2d4.
Wait, say that again?
Every creature that dies in the field will increase the damage by 2d4 to a maximum of 20d4. Jeez.
Okay. Also, because I specialize in lightning damage, you take extra damage. I'm just trying to find out where it is. just trying to find it. Hold on, bear with me. Sorry. Okay, so you take an extra 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And as I draw my sword, I'm like, I say, so who do I owe the pleasure to? Lauren or someone else?
Lauren doesn't answer. She just throws acid. Wait, no, is it my turn? It's my turn, right?
It is your turn.
So she does shrapnel blow. Shrapnel blast.
Which is in a cone?
Shooter. Don't fail me now. Hold on.
Okay. Yep. I'm taking this hit. No way around it. So you say dexterity saving throw from me?
Yeah.
24.
I got a 25.
Wait, well, I have to beat your DC.
Yeah. Why is my computer not working?
Wait, was 25 a roll to hit?
Yeah.
So, I believe in shrapnel blast, you don't roll to hit. It's okay. So I have to. What's your spell save DC?
I'm looking it up now. No. 17.
17. I rolled 19 on the die, so I save. Yep.
Where is my app? I'm not. It's just a stupid bucket. It's D8, right?
Mm-hmm. Hit me.
Wait.
28.
Mm-hmm.
Reduced to half, so 14.
Open set axe. So I have. Where did it go? There it was. I'm gonna do acid splash. No, poison spray.
Poison spray. Hit me. Hmm?
14.
Miss. another lightning bolt, 4th level. And that is another dex save. Fail. And I will empower it. Okay, so out of these, I will reroll. Okay, so we have 6, 12, 18, 24, 29, 30, 29, 34, 36, 42, 46 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
And then I will action surge to reset my action, and I'm going to move the watery sphere around her. So that is another strength save. Okay, that's a success. And I refuse to move.
Is it my turn?
Yep. And then, sorry, I keep forgetting my bonus damage. You take another 4 points of lightning.
I'm gonna use Shadow Sight at 7th level.
7th level?
Yep. That would be... Yep. 23 damage.
23 points of damage?
Yep.
And it's auto hit? Damn, okay.
What? Advantage. Oh shit.
Wait, what do you mean advantage? I thought it was auto hit.
So I don't get that. I don't get advantage. That's right. I forgot how many d8s. Oh, 46. Wait, so there's 4d6s. You add a d8 too? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Oh, wait, no, I did the computer. Hold up. I'm sorry. Okay. 36 points of damage.
Okay. Let me just adjust that. Okay.
gonna cast. Acid Splash. And you have to make your dexterity saving throw for Acid Splash.
Dex save.
I think so. Yeah. Hold on, Matt. So I'm reading the Acid Splash, and it said this spell's damage increases by 1d12 when you reach level 5th level. So that would, and then it would be 2d12. Yeah, Acid Splash. I'm looking at it right now. I hit 1. Damn it! No, I'm not. No. It's the right one. It's the right one. It says this spell increases by 1d6 when you reach 5th level, which would be a 2d6. Damn. Okay, so. Oh, okay. Makes sense now.
Okay. So it doesn't say that difficult terrain imposes disadvantage on me. No, difficult terrain only impacts your speed. Yeah. Dex save of a dirty 20.
Succeed. That's all I have to do. Okay.
How much total damage have I done to you?
I have not.
Okay. I'm looking okay. Is it my turn? Okay. So. I will bonus action to second wind myself, so I regain HP. Hell yeah. Gain 16 points back. Happy days. And I will cast. I'll use my first action to impose the watery sphere again to move it. So that's another strength save. Damn. Okay. Then, in that case, let me read the wording of this. Okay. Another lightning bolt. Dex save.
Natural 20.
All right. And I will empower this one once more. And these D6 are on fire. Note to self, collect more Pokemon tins. And then I will re-roll these ones. Oh, happy days! 5, 10, 15, 20, 28, 34, 38, 40, reduced to 20 for you.
Confused.
Hmm?
Well, never mind. Whatever. Okay.
And then I am going to go... I'm going to go into melee. I'm going to go into melee with her. Mm-hmm. If I move?
Yes. We've said it the entire time, Michael.
Okay, okay.
I casted it at 5th level.
Okay. Con save?
Yep.
Natural 20. Plus 8 for 28.
Success.
Excuse me.
13 is half that damage.
13?
Yeah.
7? Okay. Okay. And I'm going to go with a two-handed slash. Yes! I rolled a 19 on the die, which is a critical for me. So that is 1d10. Okay, so that is 6 plus what? Actions plus 4. 10 doubled 20.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Is it my turn?
Yep. That's it.
Log. I cast Fog Cloud at 7th level.
Okay. Hmm. I will look at my hand, which has still been crackling with lightning, and as it stops, and as my eyes um, return back to their normal, non-glowing selves, um, I am going to keep my sword on me, still drawn, and using the little hook on the back of the tip, I will open the bag. Wisdom save. Ooh, I'm good at those. 16? Huh? I am going to read the note and try and maintain whatever composure I have left. At this point, I crush the note and like with my hand shaking, I put it in a little I put it in the pocket of my inner coat and start breathing very heavily. And as I am sparking and I am discharging. You know that one shot of in a Hercules where Zeus gets really 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 mad when he finds out Hercules has been taken? It's Adrian right now. Disadvantage. Oh, my die is going aggressive. Oof. 16 and a natural 20. Um, plus, wait, wisdom save. So that's a 17. I rolled 16 plus 1. Actually, I won't do that. I won't walk away from Fred. I am. I am going to take my hand, put it on my head, and deliver a small little jolt to my head to kind of shock it away. or kind of like temporarily disable it. Mm-hmm. Like like if you were to take a brick to the head, essentially. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. Do I get the sense that whatever is happening to me is slow and overtaking? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I but do I have control for now? Okay. So I'm going to zip up the body bag, sling it over my shoulder, fireman style, and I say to myself, I know exactly where I need to go. Huh. Yeah, for some reason I'm not feeling what I need to be feeling. Um the only other place where I know I can get answers, and that is the aquarium. I am going, but as a safety measure, I'm going to cast fog cloud and have it move with me as I travel so no one can see me or arouse any suspicion about some guy in a really interesting looking Power Ranger mask carrying a body bag throughout the street. Mm, given the circumstances, I'd probably barge in. And I know, and I'm pretty sure I know my way around, right? Like I will kick down the damn door if I have to. I do not care.
Yes, bestie. I am here. Computer with like,
I kicked the door down.
Nope. Yes.
With like I showed you I sent a picture of what my mask looked like in the chat, right? Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I have to find it then.
Unless
Um
I missed it. It's okay. I'll live.
not necessarily. Um he has something similar to a common rider helmet on. Um quite similar to this guy. I'll post it in here. Quite similar to this guy. It's very it's very Red Hood plus Common Rider.
Yeah, I'm pulling swords on this guy. I'm gonna be honest. Man just
Um,
barred the door. Are you kidding me?
with one of the eyes glowing red.
Yeah, no. I'm at least becoming
He's
armed.
he's
Like I'm
he's
pulling
very
him out.
he's very Terminator right now.
Yeah, so, plural.
Good man, I'm dead.
I still have my sword out, and it still has blood on it from when I slashed
This
in
guy.
the lord. And I have a huge ass hood on too. Damn it. Um, I flick the blood away, sheath the sword, and I simply say, "Sorry about the door, but is that any way to treat a former ally?" The
Fuck is this
bag
guy?
is why I woke you guys up. I toss the bag down, but actually, no, I don't toss the bag down. I I go past him. I go past him. I go down and enter the base.
He follows.
I click the button at the back, and the helmet the helmet goes away, but I'm still in my suit. And I yell, and do I know Carmen is here? What? I rolled a one. Uh, I turn back around, and I go right up to him and like, Carmen here. Don't give me a maybe. Just tell me a damn answer. You might as well wake everyone else up. Adrian, I'm getting really, really impatient at this point, and I I will cast like most harmless thunderclap ever, just to create that sort of noise that gets everyone up.
Camille sees him doing this and
Okay.
tries to stop him. Yeah, what? I don't. Okay, I don't know who this man is. He just walked in, and he's trying to cast a spell. Come on now.
I'm assuming I hear knocking and commotion going outside. I open the door and like just glaring at him. She is not a morning person. Like, what the hell do you want waking me up at 3 a.m.?
I just turn and look at her in the Terminator fashion.
She is like death glaring everybody right now. Oh, fantastic. What does he want? Uh,
I put the
she reluctantly walks out, still glaring at everyone. Not just him, at everyone.
I put the body bag on the ground and open it. Yeah, we were all there when we met Jordan for the first time. Was Fred.
Do I have to roll anything for this? No, I mean, like, because of what happened. Like, my trauma.
I had a little friendly reunion with a certain Lauren. Well, Lauren in quotations. Quote unquote Lauren. But, well, if finding her in the middle of the park and then chasing into an alley while she's carrying a body bag is anything different from Lauren. Very.
Nope, that was her mom. I was actually fighting Adrian, and then I was born. At the very end, though, it was her mom. Yeah.
Yeah. I renounced my renunciation. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Unfortunately, yes, it was actually Lauren trying to kill me, essentially.
Yes, I was in the kitchen. Yeah, I guess. Hello.
Wait,
The small
wait.
boy has appeared.
I actually do have a question about this.
I have a question as well. Mikhail, you go first.
Okay. Me being me, and by me I mean Adrian. Adrian being Adrian, and what is going on with him right now? Will it work? Since I have a double consciousness? Okay.
I'm gonna ask it if it comes up. I'm not gonna ask it until.
Sure. He does. He's reading his mind. He's like he goes
I,
with.
I step back instinctually and put my hand on my sword.
Not gonna hurt you.
Just don't do anything rash.
Okay. Yeah. He explains that to the room, including the staticky bits.
I take the note out from my coat and I kind of just shove it almost in Jordan's on Jordan's chest, and I'm like, you and Carmen might want to read that. We're -3 right now. I have mixed feelings about that. With what I've been doing with the crime lords of the city. Who do you think it was? You see all the news footage of alleyways just riddled with static electricity, and you couldn't think of anyone else? Yes. As far as I see it, all fingers point to her.
She has not taken her eyes off the body.
Yeah, I was about to.
When I go to the park just to relax and listen to music, then I see a hooded figure carrying a body bag. I chase them. They go into an alleyway. They drop the body bag only to find out that it's Lauren, one of our best friends since school, just openly attacks me. Then after she leaves, I open the body bag to find a mutilated Fred. If that's not if that's not serial killer enough for you, I don't know what is.
Carmen kneels down and zips
Whoa,
it.
whoa. Wait. Why did she kill him? Do we have any idea of why there was a dead body on the floor at the very moment? That's what I'm trying to get to. I know what you just thought. And I'm thinking the same thing. I've been thinking it for like 20 minutes.
The brain is one.
Oh my god.
The brain is one.
This guy knows anything about what's going on.
You're so big brained.
I cast animate dead third level
Yeah.
on the body. We've only got a minute. Let's make the questions fast.
This poor man.
Oh,
Carmen
I
walks
see.
away.
Oh, I see. Are you serious, Fred? Tell us what happened, man. A part of me figured as such. What do you mean?
Camille falls to the ground, super pale.
Fred? Fred! I punched the wall.
I'll be nice and kind of like help Camille sit up so she's not laying on the floor.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I just kind of lean on
Stay.
Taro. She's gonna be on the ground for a minute. I'm not gonna lie to you.
She just ran for a mile.
This is not having a good time.
got
Sounds like
really
you're blaming
close.
him.
Thought I thought I killed those scums of Earth.
Can I just say, who says kid ages?
Wait, how old is Jordan?
24.
Did
He
you call me
ages.
kid earlier? Camille was like
This
26.
man, this man, 24 years old, and sounds like an old man.
Dude, I'm gonna keep 20. I don't think I was a kid.
Back in my day.
Oh. You
Bro, I'm 2 years younger than you.
coming towards me, man.
Kind of breathing heavily, she sits up, Camille. She just kind of looks around and she goes, "Well, if you guys knew him, this was obviously targeted towards you, right? Like it wasn't just an accident. It wasn't he walked. It wasn't the wrong place, wrong time sort of situation. This was can't think of the word premeditated, right?"
I have a theory. Can't really prove it, but I have a theory. This whole thing has got me thinking. If it wasn't Lauren, and if it wasn't this serial killer that you have been dealing with, and it was the Sandillions, a part of me is thinking that the mom that far isn't as far as we think she is. She can easily manipulate people. What are a few thugs?
I'm so sorry. Carmen actually left and she went back up to the Emporium and is outside smoking. She is. I didn't hear any of this. She, as soon as he popped up, she was like, "Bye. I can't
Have
deal
fun.
with this."
Have fun smoking in torrential rain.
I'm sure there's an awning.
You just
Yeah.
feel Carmen, you feel like a swoosh around, like you feel the air blow around your face as if someone was trying to slap the cigarette out of your hand.
That's spread in spirit. No smoking, dude.
I just had a thought. If so, your necromancy thing lasts like a minute.
So the duration of it in D&D is a minute, but when me and Matt spoke about Camille, she's super nerfed right now. She's like super. What do you say it? Like not.
Well, like, yeah, but what if they don't play video games? Like, super
Worn out.
tired, can't be to her full potential. So,
Okay.
at some point, she could hold it for longer, and she could hold a lot more dead bodies for longer, but not currently.
Okay. If the duration did last longer, would we have been able to get more information out of him? Like, would he have anything? Dang it. I was like, Kintaro could have taken her power, and then we could have done it again.
Oh,
I didn't have
my
that thought
gosh.
until now. I was distracted.
Well, we could go to the autopsy room, me and you.
Go back in.
Dead body, open.
I don't know what questions to ask.
We need to bury this person right now.
But we need answers.
This dude has been mutilated. He's hacked and slashed. Who knows how long he's been dead?
Yeah, I don't know who would be good to bring along to ask questions because I'm not sure what questions to ask.
I think I'm just gonna stay outside and listen to the rain, because I don't think she can deal with that.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Goodbye, Rainer. I'm gonna go do things. My son. Alright. Yeah. Cool. I don't know how to go about this.
I actually have a question before we do this. Is so when she takes it, or when he takes it, pardon me, didn't mean to finger anybody.
No, you're good.
When he takes it, is it so? When he takes it, am I going to feel it? Am I going to be weakened?
No. No. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
So Camille isn't going to pass out or anything.
No. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel like, oh, something's missing, maybe. But but nothing. You won't like feel anything,
Okay, cool.
and nothing will happen to you. Cool. Thanks. Taking this.
Cody,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Cool. Yeah. All right.
He's alive.
Hello, I am me from the dead. Hi, Luca. No, I'm good. I was just nope. I don't.
What? I thought that was Fred.
What?
Oh my god.
Okay.
In 5 minutes.
Let me die, man.
Yes. And I kind of just gestured towards Adrian and Jordan for questions.
The Sandillions who killed you. Was there black oozing out of their eyes? Were their eyes jet black? I gesture over to... Oh, go ahead. Wait, what markings? I go around to the back of the table to look. Yeah. I just look over to Jordan. Like, I very well know like the magnitude of this, right? Because I was the for like wasn't that didn't that go back to like my very first mission? And that sparked all of this, right? It's highly possible. Or the mayor could just be a figurehead and someone is just controlling him. Wouldn't be the first time we've seen someone control someone.
Yeah.
What? Hurry.
Mm-hmm.